Hi, everybody. Liz Levine with Signature College Counseling. So today we're going to talk about what does early decision mean. I've definitely covered this topic before in blogs and videos, but it always seems to be top of mind around this time of year, early summer, or top of mind even throughout the year when students are looking into colleges. So before I get into specifically early decision and what it means, there's several different ways you can apply to a college or colleges. And not all colleges participate in all ways to apply. So as an example, there is early action, which means you apply early and you'll hear early, but it's not binding. That doesn't mean if you get accepted that you have to go, right? So I am always of the thought that the early bird has the best opportunity to get the worm. So I am a believer in applying early in the process. With our students, we start submitting middle to the end of August. And for sure, for students that we haven't enough time, well before the November 1st, typical November 1st early action or early decision deadline. Because again, the early bird has the best opportunity to get the worm. Understand that with college applications, when they're submitted, there's their date and time stamp. So colleges know when you submitted it, and submitting it early can show interest, and it can also show your diligence. So that's early action. There's also regular decision. There's some schools that only offer regular decision. They don't even offer anything other than that. So regular decision means there's one deadline, one regular decision date. It can be as early as November 1st, or it can, which like a University of Maryland and a Penn State have a priority deadline, which means that if you apply by the priority deadline, you will get priority. If you apply afterwards, who knows? You could be SOL. But regular decision, for the most part, for a school that does offer an early action or early decision, regular decision typically it starts at the beginning of January and sometimes can go till the middle of January, right? You certainly, if at all possible, don't want to wait until the deadline to apply, to submit your applications. I always say, really don't pay attention much to the deadline. Submit your applications as soon as you possibly can, get on it, be proactive. That doesn't mean you shouldn't know the deadlines, but just because a deadline is January 15th doesn't mean you wait till January 14th to submit your applications, because understand that there's a finite number of students that they're going to accept, applicants that they're going to accept. And if you wait till January 14th with the January 15th deadline, they may have already accepted 75% of the students that they're going to accept. So your chances become slimmer the closer you submit to the deadline, potentially. So that's regular decision. So we've covered early action and regular decision, and priority deadlines, which we talked about for Penn State and University of Maryland. Then there's rolling. Let's, before we get to early decision, there's rolling admission. So what does rolling mean? Like University of Pittsburgh is rolling. So when you submit your application to them, which can be as early as early August, when they receive it, they will start to review it. And within a few weeks, you'll get a response from them. So that's rolling, meaning it's on a rolling basis. As they get applications, they roll through them and provide their responses. And then there's early decision, which is the topic of today's blog and video. The early decision is binding. So not all schools have an early decision option. Early decision means you apply by their early decision deadline, which typically is November 1st, November 15th, sometimes in between, but always look to see what the early decision deadline is. You apply early, you'll hear early before the middle of December typically, or before the holiday break. And if you get accepted, you have to go. It's binding. You sign it contractually. You can only apply to one school early decision, makes sense, because if you get accepted, you have to attend. And of course, there's the whole financial piece as well, that you're also committed financially. Always use the net price calculator if you're applying early decision and finances are a factor for you, which they are for most families. Go to that school's website that you're thinking of applying early decision and go through the net price calculator to see what approximately your net price will be. It's only as good as the information that's entered, and sometimes there are surprises to the family of what it actually is when it comes out. But I suggest that you at least do so to have an understanding of what your net price will be before you hit that submit button for early decision. And again, early decision is contractually binding. You sign it, and one of your parents signs it, electronically signs it as well. So hoping that helps in understanding what early decision means and also what the other options are depending on the school of how you can apply. Liz Levine with Signature College Counseling, making your college admissions journey easier to navigate.